up, world? It's your boy, the one and only nonprofit sector connector. Your boy, Tommy D, coming at you. Episode 162. I don't always shout out the number, but I was talking to my new friend Kate Tuffy just a couple minutes ago. 162 times I've walked up the stairs from my kitchen just below the roof in my attic. I just like to say in my attic. I actually hashtag on social media in my attic. And there's like other people that have hashtags in my attic. I'm not sure what their deal is in their attic. But in my attic, we do a couple things here on Philanthropy and Focus. We help nonprofit organizations tell their stories and amplify their message. And, this has become my journey, man. This has become my mission. I'm going to do 5,000 episodes of this show. How the hell are you going to do that, kid? Don't curse. We don't curse on the show. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do 5,000 episodes? This show charges me up every Friday morning, and I'm sure it charges you up listening to it because you hear from people who are changing the world, who are making the world a better place, who are on the front lines. Some are serving people who experience homelessness. Some are serving people who have insecurity around food. We have people working with the disabled or intellectually, developmentally disabled population. I love, those are my folks. That's very close to my heart. By the way, I feel compelled to shout out the Lindy Lou Foundation in memory of my cousin Linda, who did an incredible job at the Lindy Lou Classic, raising money, and all that money in Linda's name goes to organizations that are serving that population of people with intellectual developmental disabilities. But my friends, gang, I chose to hang out with the nonprofit sector, right? That's what we're doing. I hear the Long Island Railroad train behind me. I haven't heard that in a while live during the show. I feel like I got to call it out. Like if there's an elephant in the room, name it. So that's the railroad in my attic. For me, it's a labor of love. Every morning, Monday through Friday, I eventually do this show. That's how you get the 5,000. But the point is, if you are connected to a nonprofit organization, if you sit on the board, if you love a nonprofit organization, if you run a nonprofit organization, or if once a year you volunteer for that nonprofit, hook me up, man. TommyD.NYC on Instagram, Tommy D at Philanthropy and Focus, Phocus. Maybe I should have spelled it with an F. It would have been easier. I wouldn't have to spell it every single time. Tommy D at Philanthropy and Focus.com on the email. I'm gonna give you my cell phone. No, I'm not. I tricked you. I'm not gonna give you my cell phone number, but you probably get it if you Google me. I'm taken by the work nonprofits do. We founded the Nonprofit Resource Hub. I'm involved with the Long Island Imagine Awards. 2 weeks from now is the Long Island Imagine Awards. So make sure if you want to partner up and connect with that. We've been a sponsor. My agency, Vanguard Benefits, my business partners, Ed Probst and Vinny Blasi, and I've been sponsored for a number of years. May 1st, Crest Hollow Country Club. There's going to be 500 people there supporting the nonprofit sector. The New York City Imagine Awards, the applications are out right now. Look, you want to call yourself the nonprofit sector connector, man, you better be involved in the sector. You better be out there building relationships. So there was the building on 145 Tulip Avenue, where I spent many of my teen and 20s, a place called Halligan's. My uncle Joe Graziano owned this bar. And actually spoke to Warren is my guest here today, Warren Hance and Kate Tuffy. We're going to get into the conversation, but Warren, we got to laugh because I was talking to our friend Louie yesterday, and I think you might have been in the background when I was talking to him. I grew up working in Floral Park. My wife is from Floral Park. I grew up in Franklin Square, just down the road a piece, just down Tulip Avenue there. I mean, that's my hometown, man. I used to get my mail delivered to Halligan's. That's a bit of a joke, but I used to check in there all the time. Lifelong friends that came out of that neighborhood. Many of my friends that are Belrose guys now moved into Floral Park, which 25, 30 years ago you didn't do, but now I guess Belrose guys can move into Floral Park. That's a whole nother joke. Some people will get that one. Floral Park is incredibly important, and what a community it is. And the only reason we didn't buy a house in Floral Park, my wife and I, when we were looking to move, we moved from Franklin Square and Floral Park way out to Glen Oaks Village, Belrose, shout out to Queens, to thought we'd end up back in the village, but I wanted some property. So we ended up a little bit up north on the North Shore for some dirt so my kids could run around. And what a crazy story how things happen and things go full circle. But I was driving through the neighborhood and I kept seeing the office for the Hance Family Foundation that opened up right next to a spot called Butts and Such, where we used to buy Swedish fish when I worked at the bar. We would go across the street, buy Swedish fish and stuff like that and candy. And I saw the building, and I was like, wow, they got a storefront. How awesome is that? And then months go by and whatnot. The power of social media. This should make some folks in your office laugh at Hance Family Foundation, because I saw this thing on social media. And there's just kind of this trend going on where, of course we do this because we're a nonprofit, or of course we do this because we're a nonprofit. Like, of course I wear 7 hats because I'm a nonprofit. Like, of course we have a gala going on and we have volunteers, like, because we're a nonprofit. And I saw it on Instagram and it resonated with me. So because I'm Tommy D and I just do things, I call the office. And Kate and Warren, I think the woman I spoke to, Emily, is that the right name?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
poor Emily, because she got to deal with this situation like on the fly, probably not even expecting. She probably just thought it was going to be somebody calling to drop off a basket for the upcoming run or something. And she gets the whole Tommy D show going on. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm Tommy D. I'm Floral Park, Halligan's, all this. And she's laughing and she's joking. I said, I love what you guys just did on social media. And she said something like, it's funny you should say that, Tommy D. And it was quick that she started calling me Tommy D because it's funny she said it because we weren't even going to do that. Like, I don't know who, but maybe it was the program director. Somebody was like, I don't want to do this, or it doesn't look good, or I'm embarrassed. And I was like, gang, this is what it is. I go right outside of my comfort zone from jump every morning. And I think that's what we have to continue to do. Be authentic, get outside of your comfort zone, take some chances, man. I get anxiety with what I'm going to do on this program because I'm trying to serve the organization and serve their mission. But that's what it is. It's about getting a little anxious. It's about getting uncomfortable. Look, here's what Kate and I were talking in this virtual green room, and I'll leave it here before we get into the show. I want to say this. If you want to do something, please go out and friggin' do it, man. Like, it's not going to work exactly the way you wanted it to. I promise. I mean, I can't promise, but I'm pretty sure it isn't going to work what you thought. Guess what, though? You just tried it, man. You are like, in moments now, you're a different person. You're a different being because you got into it. I don't need to say life moves fast, right? We got to take opportunities when they're in front of us. All right, put the soapbox away. I will stop preaching for a moment here because I have two guests on the show with me. I'm just this is an honor for having you on the show. I appreciate the work you're doing. Warren, I want you to introduce yourself first, and then we're going to have Kate Tuffy introduce herself. We're going to talk about this organization. We're going to talk about the incredible impact. I know Floral Park well. I was looking over your board of directors this morning. I know a lot of those names. I mean, this to me is, I probably should have been connected to you and involved with what you guys are doing earlier, but life is what it is, and this is the way it is. But from going forward, I want to help. I want to be connected. I want to see where I can make an impact. Warren Hance, please introduce yourself, sir. Welcome to Philanthropy and Focus. That was like a 9-minute Tommy D rant. Just get ready. It only gets better from here. Warren and Kate Tuffy both here. Warren Hance, take it away, please, sir.
How you doing, Tommy D?
Rob.
I just first I wanted to just comment on what you just said about going out and trying things, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. And I just got interviewed the other day from my from Marist College, which I graduated from in '89, and they just asked what lesson or what would you say to somebody, that was in your shoes 30, 35 years ago, and kind of dovetails right in with what you were just saying. And that's that, not that there's no knowledge in success. Obviously, we all learn from succeeding, but if you already know what 2 + 2 is, if you know that's 4, how much have you really learned if somebody asks you that question? The knowledge that we gain is from failure. That's how we really learn. That's how we figure things out. And it's really, really challenging, especially for me. And you made reference to it, and that is like stepping outside of your comfort zone. Failure has been a very, very challenging thing for me to face. I feel like for most of my life, I've kind of taken the safe route. I used to say to my business that when a door closed, a window opened. It's just kind of the way things worked out for me. And I think there was probably more meat on the bone, in life, if I had been willing to take more risks or more challenges, or just, like you said, stepping outside my comfort zone. So I think there's a lot, really a lot to that message that you're spreading. It's a simple sentence, and it's easy to kind of take in and to process, but there's really, it's significant. I think it's probably one of the most important things in life to learn, that failure is good. Failure is okay. Failure is where you're gonna become a better person.
That is so great, man.
So
So great. Failure is good. Failure is okay. That's what we should be talking about. Like that's life, man. But we put this stigma around. Oh man, I did poorly. Yeah, all right. But now we figured stuff out, man. Like, and again, Warren, I want you to say, I don't do this all the time. I have to be pushed sometimes, and I have to push myself. So I'm speaking to you and everybody. And Kate, it's not just like I don't have this figured out, but I just know like that's what we got to do. Get uncomfortable, right?
absolutely,
Failure,
absolutely.
good. Failure is something we can learn from. Okay, that's the end of the show, gang. We'll be back next Friday. Kate Tuffy. First of all, what a cool freaking name. I gotta just start with that, Kate Tuffy, because like I just want to call you Tuffy. Like that's it. Like and it might work, might well, you have to let me know. But did they call you that, Kate Tuffy? What's going on?
All my kids just go by Tuffy and Tuff.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You have boys and girls?
I have one son and two girls, and they all started playing basketball young, and it just kind of stuck from the courts that they played on.
No doubt, man. Nicknames. Listen, I've been Tommy D since I'm 2 years old, man. And like it's funny, I was out at my dad's store, which we got to talk about. My dad owns Ralph's Italian Ices out in Huntington. But I was out at his store, and next door I was having some food at the Greeks next door, and they go, oh, we love your dad, Tommy. And I go, my dad, Tommy. My dad's Tom. I'm Tommy D, right? Like that's the like I thought that was cute because that's not what he would never introduce himself as Tommy. So I thought that was kind of, but nicknames are fun. Kate, tell me about your background. And then I really want Warren when we come back from break to get into the kind of the story about the organization. But what is your background? And then we'll find out how you all met.
Sure. So my background is I work as a behavior analyst or a behavior therapist, and I work in lots of schools and lots of home settings. And I was fortunate enough to be working in the John Lewis Child School for years, a few years prior to 2009, when the Hance Family Foundation all started. I was able to, in 2008, work in classrooms. I mainly support children who have a diagnosis on the autism spectrum, who have behavioral challenges in school. And my job is to support them and make life easier for them. And a lot of times I'll loop in their peers and try to create little social circles. And as you'll hear from Warren, Emma, Alyson, and Katie loved attending the John Lewis Child School. And Emma was a huge help to me in 2008 and 2009 school year. And I knew Emma because I also live in Floral Park, and my daughter, Maddie, was the same age. So I was very familiar and friends with the Hance family. And then when the Hance Family Foundation began, I was so moved by the organization, so moved by the mission, and just to be honest, just the actual creation of the organization, that I promised myself that I would work hard to get involved any way I could and find a spot that could potentially create a little bit of impact.
I love that. Find a spot, right? Gang, if you want to be part of something, get involved, show up. There's a book I have around here. It's called Think and Grow Rich. And I forget the guy that they're talking about in the book, but he just kept showing up at Thomas Edison's factory, warehouse, whatever, manufacturing plant, and said, I'm going to be working. I'm going to be your partner, Mr. Edison. He didn't say I'd like a job. He said, I'm going to be your partner, Mr. Edison. And it goes on and on and on. It's like 300 days in a row. He keeps showing up until Edison finds a gig for him to go out and sell something, the incandescent bulb or something like that, right? Point of the matter is, gang, you want to be part of something, lean in, find a spot for yourself, create a spot for yourself. You were drawn into that, it sounds like, Kate, obviously, and we're going to hear more about that as we go through the program today. I got to make one comment. I'm on the advisory board for New York City for Best Buddies. I'm sure you're familiar with Best Buddies. In memory of my cousin Linda, we've created a bunch of Best Buddies school communities here on clubs on Long Island. So I love what you're talking about, that peer engagement of our quote unquote neurotypical students and our IDD students, which, gang, I got to be honest, I have no clinical background. I'm just going to say things and, if you find me in the street, you can argue with me and tell me I'm wrong. I think it's all a spectrum. I think mental health is a spectrum. I got the ADHD. Yes, it's called the ADHD here in the attic, but I got the ADHD for my entire life. For 43 years, I thought I was quote unquote neurotypical, which, to be honest with you, what the hell does that mean? Neurotypical. What's typical? I sound like Jerry Seinfeld for a second. What's typical though? Honestly, like nothing. We're all people. We are learn differently. We interact differently. When we talk about, when I talk about the Spirit of Huntington Art Center, where I'm on the board, we talk about the Artworks program, the incredible work that individuals with intellectual disabilities do. on website design and social media, and it's about accessibility. It's about making opportunities for people. We are one race of human beings. Let's just connect. Let's love. Yeah, Tommy D, you sound like Kumbaya. Well, that's what it is. It's about compassion. It's about love. It's about community. It's about being together. I know we're going to talk about that today. All right. When we come back, Warren, I'm going to put you on. I want you to tell me about the organization. We're going to be back. We'll be back in like 45 seconds. We're going to learn about Hance Family Foundation. We're going to talk about the incredible programs that the organization provides, how involved in the community the organization is. We're gonna tell you all the story that you may or may not know, and then you're gonna be impacted and you're gonna help out. It's just easy. It's like this show is very basic. I mean, I'm incredible, right? But the show is just it's pretty basic conversation. Your boy, the one and only nonprofit sector connector, coming right back.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
You like that, Warren?
Great theme song.
I love it. I love it. I used to back in the early days, like 3 years on the show. Back in the early days, I used to say, "All right, listen. Now that you know the lyrics, when we come back, you have to sing it with me." I haven't made anybody do that in a long time, but that's a song I wrote. My friend Brendan Levy, who manages he manages the relationships and business development at the Queen's Chamber of Commerce. Very good friends of mine, Tom Gretz and Brendan Levy, the leadership team at the Queen's Chamber. Brendan has a band. He's a singer in a band called Damaged Goods, because back in the day when we were all young people, they had a band and they were called the Goods, but now they're old men. So now they're called Damaged Goods. And that's just kind of how that shook out. But we wrote that song together. Brendan is the singer, but it's like a Lennon and McCartney. If you've ever listened to the show, we wrote it together. So it's like Demisa Levy situation. All right, back to the show. I shared the website while we were away. The website is hancefamilyfoundation.org, hancefamilyfoundation.org. Hance is spelled Hance. I want to just read something. The Hance Family Foundation honors the lives of Emma, Alyson, and Katie Hance by providing our unique self-esteem programs worldwide. We are experts in the field of social emotional learning. I talk about ADHD before. I talk about mental health a lot on this program. I was in a meeting last night at the high school here because we're talking about substance abuse and the coalition against substance abuse and all these different things. It all runs together, gang. Social emotional learning, right? EQ, emotional intelligence. Kate Tuffy, I'm sure we're going to get into some of that today. Warren, can you tell us about the organization? Can you just take us back a little bit about the creation of the organization, please, sir?
Yeah, I mean, you just read a really quick summary of what we are and who we are, but some of the history and the background is, My three girls, Emma, Alyson, and Katie, were killed in a car accident in 2009, July 26th. They were 8, 7, and 5. And I was thinking about this on the way here. I'm actually out in Northport right now, but thinking about what we're going to talk about, and what I wanted to say, and I just totally zoned out there. I lost my train of thought completely.
Okay.
But I got it.
Take it.
So when you've really kind of lost, not kind of, when you've lost everything, everything, the worst of the worst of the worst, you've lost everything. The worst thing you can lose, when you're in that spot, like the darkest it gets is when you've lost all hope. And, the reality of losing your three kids like that, it's you lose hope, and you lose hope fast. And you got to fight to survive. You got to fight to figure out what it is that's going to start to restore your hope. And for me, it was really in the very, very early hours of the aftermath of this horrific day. And I had a conversation with Kate in my driveway. And I had gone to JLCS, John Louis, where my girls were going, and I graduated from there. And I remembered as a sixth grader, they used to give out these little awards. You get a savings bond. And a lot of it had to do with a family remembering a loved one. There was the Thomas McVeigh Award. And, so based on a certain set of criteria, they would present these kind of little mini scholarships to kids. And I said to Kate, that's what I want to do. I want my kids to be remembered. And this is how I want to do it. I want to give out a little savings bond every year so that my kids are remembered. And that was it. That was the germ. That was the seed. That was the start. That's how we went from nothing to where we are today, which is a couple 100,000 girls put through our females, couple 100,000 females put through our self-esteem programs. And I couldn't be more proud of what we accomplished. It's been a wild journey. It's been 15 years now. It was a room full of people that I used to say we're family, friends, and foundation. That was what was important to me when we started. Like, we had a foundation, yes, but it was about family and friends and how we were going to start to figure out how to make an impact on people. And those first couple of years, we had our run and we had some fundraisers, and we raised some really good money. And I want to double back a second and about how this foundation has come to be and how we've really become successful. And again, this was probably August or September of 2009. We got a PO box, and we got this, and people were taking the time to get us our 501c3. And a very good friend of the foundation worked for a company down on Wall Street. And unbeknownst to me, one day I go to the PO box that we had just opened, and there was a $25,000 check. And, $25,000 was the world to us at that time. It was everything. And I grabbed that check and I called my father, and I said, Dad, we just got our first real donation. We just got a $25,000 donation. And my father was a rock. He was in life. He talk about never seeing someone sweat. He was as German could be. And my father basically broke down with that phone call. And I think it all just kind of came rushing into him. And he said, you're going to make a difference, and that check just changed it all. It provided it opened my eyes to, not only what I thought, what Kate thought, what other people that were involved thought, but what my father thought. And, that meant everything to me. And, in a lot of ways, I do this for my kids. and I do it for the other people that volunteer and spend their time and that have sacrificed with their families. But I do it to make, my father proud as well.
Oh my gosh. Warren, thank you for your candor. Thank you for sharing this story. The insights that you share, I mean, I say it all the time. And I even think of it in many organizations that I meet with come out of a tragedy. The formation comes out of a tragedy towards legacy. And
yeah, Tommy D, just to jump in there quick, sorry. That's what I say. I say often, this foundation was born out of a tremendously sad event. There's no escaping that. But sadness is not what we're about. We're about hope. We're about optimism. We're about potential. We're about when you're faced with the worst of the worst of the worst, putting your feet on the floor and showing and setting an example that, the world is really, really hard. It's really, really challenging. And you're going to get knocked on your ass in small ways and in significant ways. And the only choice we really have, because we're given this great gift, is to fight, and is to move ahead, and is to do our absolute best to set examples, not only for our peers, but the kids, the communities that are paying attention, setting the wrong example. I mean, we all, there's no saints here, right? We all do things that we probably wish we didn't do, but, to set an example that people can say, if that guy can survive that, then I can survive this. And although I hate when people kind of make that comparison to me, like, oh, you did this, so I have to do that. I'm not really comfortable with that, but that's a lot of what it is, right? It's a lot of like, I've tried to show people that it's possible to rebuild that hope.
thank you for that. Thank you for sharing all of that. It is possible to rebuild, and it's possible to keep forward. And you and many, many people are proof of that. And hundreds of thousands of females are now impacted because of the work you're doing. Kate Tuffy, the fighting that goes on, that one foot in front of the other, what impact are we making what does the programming look like when, we know how you knew Warren, we know how you knew the girls, but how did this start where you got involved in the programming?
Yeah. I think Warren very humbly shared about the start of the organization. That's where it all started on July 26, 2009, on a gorgeous, sunny summer afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon. Our community of Floral Park was absolutely stopped, and Warren and Jackie's entire lives changed irreparably, forever. And on July 26th, on July 27th or 28th, I don't know when it was, Warren immediately was saying to a group of us, I want to do some good. I want to start a foundation. And he was also saying repeatedly, I am so sorry you have to tell your children this. And that was the impetus for so many of us to say, let's get involved. The fact that he was so concerned, and Jackie as well, so concerned about how parents were going to go home and share what had happened, and share that hopefully they were safe, and that hopefully this, isn't something that happens over and over again. And then, the foundation started, and with tremendous help from so many of Warren and Jackie's friends and people who just gave it their all, and made sure this organization got off the ground. And simultaneously, our school district, the Floral Park Bellrose School District, worked very hard to prepare for the return of students that September. They didn't wait till September. They opened their gymnasiums. They had experts come in to be available to parents and students alike to talk about bereavement and loss and grief, and that everyone's individual reactions to the accident, to the loss of Emma and Ellie and Katie, were valid. And that everyone wanted to, there was a space, and a safe space for people to be heard. But the reality was, the doors opened that early September when school started again, and lots of children, lots of adults walked in the doors, and they were talking about an accident. And kids were coming in with pictures cut out from the newspaper in their folders and their notebooks. And I thought, as a mother of three myself, as someone who deeply admired the courage and the strength that Warren and Jackie were showing on a daily basis to get out of bed and be an example for others, that maybe we could change the conversation, and maybe we could stop talking about how the girls passed away, and instead we could talk about how they lived, because they were three spectacular girls with enthusiastic levels of confidence. You know, when I needed a friend to jump in for a kid who was really struggling in Emma Hance's class, Emma just jumped in. And this little guy he's a great, great kid, but he didn't make it easy. And sometimes he would say, "Get away from me," or "I don't want to talk to you," or "Leave me alone," to Emma. And, you know, this 8-year-old kid, I asked her one day, "Why do you keep coming back?" She would at lunchtime, he would walk the perimeter of the fence often, just in a loop. And she would walk next to him, and she would talk about things that he liked that maybe she didn't know an awful lot about. And I asked this 8-year-old kid, "Why do you keep doing it?" And she said, "You just got to keep trying." So I figured in that fall, I'm just going to try to change the conversation to talk about who they were. So I went to Warren and Jackie in early September of 2009. I asked them if I could create a program for 50 participants, 50 girls, that talked about self-esteem and self-awareness and confidence, and, you know, knowing that children, but girls in particular, take in the world differently, and that we know about the lack of self-esteem often that can lead to serious complications and consequences and decisions, and that there is a way to teach self-esteem. I know that, and there's a way to help girls think about themselves in different ways so that they then treat others in different ways. So I asked them if I could honor their children by creating this program. My goal was 50 participants, as I said, and in the village of Floral Park. And Warren and Jackie so generously said yes. And they took the time to share stories about their girls. And they took the time to pay attention to the little project that I was trying to create. And we got started. And then there really was a moment in time that changed the trajectory. I was nervous about even finding 50 participants. I was concerned.
What were you looking? I want to ask you. Here's the thing, because I have a lot of questions about this. I want to know, like, what age groups and all this stuff. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Let's run to the break. We're Logan, I'm telling you, Logan, quick break. We can't do a long break. We're going to do a quick break. We'll come right back. I want to know. I think I know how these stories go, but you didn't know if you could find 50 participants, but we'll see. We're going to leave it like a cliffhanger. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business, or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
All right. Warren Hance. Here's the deal, Warren Hance. I'm assuming there's some kind of stage or some kind of announcement you make at this big walk on May 18th. So I challenge you. That's like a month away. So I want to come on stage and you and I sing the Philanthropy and Phocus song together. You seem to like it. Nonprofits need connections to move in right directions. All right, Tommy, back to the show. All right, but I laugh because I see you're getting into it, man. You're digging the song.
I am.
Digging the song. Maybe does the Hance Family Foundation have a theme song?
No, nothing is good as that one.
Maybe it should have one. We should get it a theme song. All right, Kate Tuffy, right back to you. Let's get it. So you say we're going to change this conversation. We're going to talk about empowerment. We're going to talk about self-esteem. The Jackie and Warren said they blessed this and said, go for it, Kate. We love you. Let's make it happen. And what you say, oh, I want to get 50 participants. Now, I don't know about math a lot, but my friend Warren just said hundreds of thousands of young women, females have been impacted by this work. How many? So go ahead. We don't have to tell them punchline just yet, but you weren't sure if you'd get 50 participants. How'd that go?
Yeah. So I enlisted the help of a friend who is a brilliant social worker. Her name is Liz Monroe. We spent about a month on curriculum development, and we decided the beautiful me was going to be taught in 3 one-hour sessions. So over the span of 3 weeks. And I just put the word out there to some kids in the community who were very close to Emma and Allie and Katie, and some kids who I knew could potentially benefit from this group. And I let Warren and Jackie know we were starting. I got some space donated by a local school, and we settled in for our first session. We were about halfway through that first hour, and Jackie Hance came in the door, and she looked great. She had a smile on her face, and she had brought some dessert and snacks for the participants. And, you know, her presence showed all the girls in that room and showed me that it was okay to be doing this group, and that she appreciated it, and she gave us her permission to move forward. Second week, same thing happened. She came in with this great big tray of brownies and fruit, and she just said, hey, you know, it's okay to have some sweets, and it's okay to balance it with a little bit of a healthy snack as well. And she left. And again, her presence showed that she was moving forward, and she was getting out of bed that day, and she was living, and she was surviving the worst of the worst. And then the last session, that third night, she came in again with a treat, and then she had a little pink gift bag for every participant, and for me as the instructor, and for my friend Liz. And inside that gift bag, there was a photograph of Emma and Alyson and Katie. There was a necklace with 3 hearts on it, symbolizing her girls. And she had handwritten every participant a note. And the note said that she thanked the girls for coming to Beautiful Me and for learning a little bit more about Emma and Alyson and Katie. But she wrote, more importantly, thank you for taking the time to learn more about yourself and how to be kind to yourself and others. And those participants in our first ever Beautiful Me group in 2009 wore their necklaces back to school the next day, back to the basketball courts they played on, the art lessons, the playgrounds they were in. And I started getting a lot of calls, a lot of texts, a lot of emails asking what was this group and how could someone get their child into it. So we continued, you know, with a lot of help from a lot of friends, with tremendous growth over the last 15 years, which we'll talk about. But we haven't had 50 participants go through the program. We've had over 200,000 so far worldwide. We teach in 30.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? Come on. Like, that's 200,000 lives impacted by this change in conversation, right?
Yeah. Tommy D,
take it away.
It's not 200,000 lives. Those are the females that sit in the room. It's everybody else. They go home and impact. So it's unknowable how many lives it's really impact. We
infinite.
We can quantify 200,000.
All because it's infinite, right? Because we know that whoever those girls affect now turn around, and those people that are affected affect other people. That's infinite. That's just what it is, Warren. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. And those participants, to this day, every single participant still gets that gift package from Jackie. We have a community of girls as young as 5 years old, women as old as 105, because we had a participant who was 105 a few years ago go through our program. They all wear that necklace. They all get that note. They keep the photograph of Emma and Alyson and Katie as a reminder, not only of what is possible, but also as a reminder of their time in beautiful me. And that will continue until the day we close shop. You know, we keep this community tied together, and the invisible string connects us all.
The invisible string connects us all. Gang, if you're only listening right now, please go to the website, Hance Family Foundation. Then you go on the programming and you get to Beautiful Me. Or the other, correct me if I'm wrong, Kate, but they can go directly self-esteemrising.org. That's another way to get here. All right. Some people are listening, you know, later on into the future. But I want you to make sure you connect with the organization. I'm seeing, listen, the logo, I'm hearing about the necklaces. I want to go to this invisible string you just talked about. I'm big on the hoodies. I saw this morning that there's like some things in, like on the website. I saw there's some like swag in the window hanging. I saw either a t-shirt or something. Again, it was like I have to go buy, but I need to get myself some gear because I got on a Book Fairies t-shirt this morning. Shout out to Book Fairies out in Freeport. My good friends, Eileen Minogue, Executive Director, and Amy Zaslansky, Founder. Shout out. I love you both for what you do and what you've done, what you're doing. But I do like to rock the swag. So I got to get myself little hand stuff, get me some gear. I mean, I'm not asking for, I'm saying I will purchase, but we got to work something out. Tommy, it's not all about hoodies. I know, but I like hoodies. All right. Warren, are you having fun? Are you having fun yet, Warren Hance?
I'm having fun, Tommy D.
That's my guy. I love it. Tuffy, what about you? Are you fired up? See, this is the show. We just break in the middle of the show, and I just make sure my guests are entertained. Are you having fun, Kate Tuffy?
Absolutely.
Good. What do we want to talk about programmatically as well as this? Because we're going to get into in our final segment when we come back a little while. We're going to talk about what's upcoming. But we do, as I shared with you the other day, and again, Kate, we talked about it this morning, we run out of time way before we run out of words. So what else do you want to share programmatically about the organization?
We teach Beautiful Me. We train the teachers, and so that there are long-lasting relationships in schools, in sports organizations, in social services groups, in hospitals, in nursing homes. We are available again for every female participant from age 5 to 105, and we do not charge anyone a penny to become trained in our Beautiful Me program or for the Beautiful Me program to be taught. So every single material, every single gift that I referenced, everything is provided free of charge because that's our mission, and we are going to work around the clock every single day to make it happen.
So who supports that? Because things can be made free, but somebody pays the bill at the end of the day, right? So it's your sponsors. Where's that money come from?
Yeah. So our sponsorships come from a variety of different events that we host, and Warren can speak to our 15th 5K and Family Fun Day on May 18th. We have a golf outing in July. The golf outing sells out every year, but the visibility sponsorship opportunities are enormous for anyone who wants to come in and support that event. And then, of course, we have a fall cocktail party event, but every single day, the opportunity exists for anyone to log on to hancefamilyfoundation.org and donate to put the next Beautiful Me participant through the program. It is as simple as a $25 donation that'll open a seat in Beautiful Me for the next participant, and it can be in your community. It could be anywhere around the world. We work in 37 states and 14 countries currently. That number grows every single day, and we are happy to take, for any donation to come in here, we'll open up a seat in Beautiful Me.
Who delivered? So Kate Tuffy's not going around the whole world doing the programming. So are you kind of deputizing people to deliver the program? What does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, we have a strenuous training program, meaning that it is tried and true. We have partnered with an affiliate of Harvard Medical School, which is the Baker Children's Center up in Boston, to fine tune our training process to become experts in turnkey training for social emotional learning. So we have a training program with tens of thousands of trained teachers around the world. And that affords anyone who becomes trained as a teacher or a mental health professional to teach Beautiful Me to as many participants as they want. And we support them every step of the way. They become partners and family members of our organization, and we work with them to disseminate the program.
So I got to ask you this. I know I asked you when we were like catching up earlier this week, and I shouted out, I said something about Girls Inc. of Long Island. Now, Renee Daniel Flagler is actually, before Philanthropy and Phocus was like live like this, I played around, I did a couple episodes. Renee did one of those with me. And Renee's become a very good friend of ours. She's a client of my agency. The Girls Inc. of Long Island is a client of our agency. I think you've worked with them in the past. Is it possible? Would you want to do more work? All right, so we'll work that out. We need you all to know, Kate and Warren, I need you to know about the Nonprofit Resource Hub, everybody else, nonprofitresourcehub.org. It's an organization we founded. My business partner and 3 other colleagues of ours founded this organization. And it is just that. It's a resource for nonprofit organizations. Warren, you mentioned you had a team of folks setting up the 501c3 15 years ago, back in 2009. We help get organizations really find the best of breed resources. So anyway, we'll put that on the side, but I want you to get connected to that because there's 300 nonprofit organizations that are part of that community that we've built, both in New York City, Long Island, and then it goes a little further out too, around the country a bit. The thing I wanted to say about Girls Inc., I also think, it makes sense for Girl Scouts. I'm sure you probably partner up with Girl Scouts a lot. My friend Tammy Severino is the CEO of Girl Scouts of Suffolk County. I don't know if you work with them. My very good friend, Nyrekia White, just left Girl Scouts of Suffolk County in the development department to go to Long Island Children's Museum. Maybe there's something here with Long Island Children's Museum. Erica Floresca and I didn't think I'd tell anybody this, but Erica Floresca and I were doing the show live 2 weeks ago, and my entire house started shaking. And I didn't say anything, and Erica didn't say anything, but the show goes from 10 to 11 Eastern time. Okay, we had an earthquake, right? I didn't say anything and Erica didn't say anything. We didn't say anything to each other until the show was over. But I didn't know if my house was going to fall down. But as they say, the show must go on. So I just kept trudging through. I have no idea what she was saying for those 7 minutes because the house was shaking. I thought it was in The Wizard of Oz. But Erica, Long Island Children's Museum, if you don't know them yet, Kate and Warren, we got to get you connected there. So the point of the matter is that's what this show is all about. That's really what my journey is all about, is making the connections, bringing people together. When we come back, that's what I want to talk about. Warren, you're going to hit me really good with the golf outing and the run walk and all that stuff. You can tell me about it. You can tell me who's coming, what do you need, that sort of thing. Kate, and then I want you to tell me, Tommy, love to know Girls Inc. better. Love to know Girl Scouts. Whoever it is, we're going to leave it all out there on the field, as I like to say. So it's ask time. A-S-K, ask time. It's like a show. I'm like, what do you say, Logan? A game show host. Here comes the lightning round. Break, and then the lightning round. Right back.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Join Tommy in his attic.
Hey, Warren, there's a guy. I love this guy. I don't even know him, but I love him already. There's an architect on your one of your sponsors called Bobby K. Love that. I don't, hold on. We got to get you unmuted. There we go. So
Bobby K. Yes.
I wonder if we're related, Bobby K and Tommy D. But it's funny though, like right above that, I see Camp Anchor. Now we have a very special connection to Camp Anchor. The Lindy Lou Foundation has been supporting the drama program in memory of Linda Ann Cunningham, Lindy Lou, my cousin, for many, many years. We love the drama program. Shout out to Camp Anchor. We could talk about that another time on another show or over a cup of coffee. Anyway, let's get into this. What's upcoming? What do you need? How can we help?
Warren, you want to talk about the race?
Oh, sure. On May 18th of 2024, we will be hosting our 15th race, walk, run. It's hard to believe, really. It seems like yesterday and it seems like a million years ago, all at the same time. But it's a spectacular event. It's about the work that we do, and it's really a tremendous celebration. You made a good point before, Tommy. Like we put all these girls through this program for free, right? It's free to them. It's free for not for profit. Is that you have to ask? There has to be an ask, right? There has to be funding to get these programs out there and available to people. So this is one of our big fundraisers for the year. We ask people for their time, their talent, their treasure, whatever they can give us to advance the cause, not for us, but for the next participant of Beautiful Me. It's a great day. It's about the Beautiful Me community. It's about the village of Floral Park. We have one of the biggest 5Ks on Long Island. I've been told it's either the biggest or the second biggest, and we toggle back and forth between us and the Michael Murphy Foundation.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And that's what my timer tells me, at least. And so, but we'll have, just for the 5K, we'll have probably almost 2,000 runners that'll leave Centennial Gardens in Floral Park, run up the street to our beautiful, beautiful little downtown area, past OLV, and then right down the heart of where we're all from, the heart of where your uncle set up his business. We go right down Tulip Avenue with these 2,000 runners, all wearing the same color shirt, all celebrating HFF, Beautiful Me, Floral Park, each other. It's just a spectacular day, and it really kind of provides the lifeblood for the rest of the year. There's other things we do after that. We have a great golf outing in July. Like Kate said, for golfers, we're booked up. People have often said to me, "Why don't you run a second course, Warren?" And I say, that's just not the type of outing I want to run. Like it's a very intimate crew. I don't want to have to tell some guy that he's got to go 5 miles down the road to play golf, but then come down and have dinner with us. And you're on the B team. Like, these are all A team players. Come to the dinner. If there's no room for you to golf,
come to the dinner.
Dinner's the best. The dinner's the best deal going.
And you don't have to have a crappy day on the golf course. I love to play golf. I play outing golf all the time. But you don't have to be frustrated that you sucked all day. Now you just go for the meal and have some cocktails if that's your fancy, right? And have the
dinner is the steal of the day.
Yeah,
and you can come and you can celebrate all the great work that's getting done. And we host our event at Cherry Valley Country Club. They treat us like kings over there.
When is that? It's July?
It's July 18th at the Cherry Valley Country Club in Garden City.
Yep, I see.
Monday, July 8th. I'm sorry, Monday, July 8th. July 8th. Yeah.
Oh, look at last year. Oh, it says last year it showed me on the website. Okay. I don't know if the price is how much is the dinner? Because the dinner from last year seems pretty cheap for a golf outing dinner.
I'm not 100% sure what it is. I think it's about $125 or $150 for the dinner.
Last year was $100.50. Like you talk about a steal. You get to network, you get to meet the people, you get to support the organization. I don't know about you, Warren Hance, but my raffle basket game is nasty. And I tell you this, and people say, Tommy D, why do you win so many baskets? How come you're so good at baskets? I'll tell you the secret. I buy a lot of freaking tickets. It's the joke, man, gang. It's not that I'm so good, but here's
Tommy.
Yes.
Tommy D, we got one of you on our team. His name is John Corcoran. walks out with 10 baskets at every event. People look at him sideways. How'd you do it? You're right. He dropped the most money and bought the most tickets. So he won the most prizes.
Not a lot of this ain't luck, baby. This is not luck. And it's not because I got a lot of money. It's just because I am cranky if I don't win, Warren, is what happens. So I just buy a lot of raffles. I love it. I will be involved with the stuff you guys have coming up. I want to be there. I know I'm going to know 60% of the room in these places. This is Floral Park, man. I mean, these guys are going to remember me. Tommy D, you know, you used to scrape me up off the floor at Halligan's when I drank too much 25 years ago. This is what I say, you know, like Tommy D, you had to get me out. You had to throw me out at times. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Kate Tuffy, who else? We're running out of time. Who else can we connect you with?
Yeah, the other thing that I think that we're always looking for at the organization is to spend every penny we raise on our programs. So if any of your listeners, anyone in your community is a professional volunteer, meaning is somebody working in marketing or web design or social media or software platforms or event planning, we welcome you at the organization. We have this beautiful storefront at 130 Tulip Avenue in Floral Park. We have volunteers all day long in our offices. It fills the office with life and with a lot of laughter. And we would love if anyone wants to volunteer as a professional. Doesn't have to be a huge commitment, but reach out to us at hancefamilyfoundation.org and we would love to bring you in.
Folks, if you're not involved, but you're a local nonprofit, you're missing the game. You dropped the ball. You didn't figure it out. Because I'm telling you, selfishly, of course we do this to be selfless, but selfishly, I feel so much better about my lot in life and my deal when I'm helping out. I mean, sometimes I wake up and I'm not so smiley, but nobody's going to know it. But maybe the people who live here. But other than
Tommy D, that's what I tell people about volunteering. The dirty little secret is you get more out of it than you put in. Like, you don't realize that going in, but you're the one that really reaps the benefits. It's spectacular.
Warren, some days like I'll wake up. There was one day I was kind of funky on a Monday, right? And I was kind of in a, whatever mood. So I go out, I get a couple boxes of Joe, and I get a bunch of donuts and bagels, and I brought it to this place over here called Nosh, which is a food kitchen in my neighborhood over here. And I just gave the food to the volunteers to thank the volunteers for what they're doing. I'm not asking accolades, gang. I'm just trying to tell you, I felt better because I did that. And now I like to feel good. So when I did 60 days of service running around Long Island and New York City volunteering with nonprofits, that was, to me, everybody's like, oh my God, that's so great you're doing that. But it ain't about me. I'm trying to show you how easy it is to get involved. And every single time, dopamine, shout out to my ADHDers out there, dopamine was flying all over the place. I was getting my fix because I was making an impact and giving back. Kate, give me a final word. Then Warren's going to give me one, and then we got to go.
Please go on our website, hancefamilyfoundation.org. Sign up for our run on May 18th. Decide that you want to put the next middle schooler or high school girl or a female of any age through Beautiful Me, make a donation. And if you have some talent and some time, come on down and help us.
Warren Hance.
Yeah, I would say that anybody out there that's struggling and doesn't think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that the key to life is hope. It's all about hope. Hold on. Pain ends. Hope. It can be done.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Warren. Thank you so much, Kate. Remember, we at the Hance Family Foundation understand that self-esteem is essential to building resilience and confidence. Resilience and confidence starts with self-esteem, starts with self-love. Give yourself a hug. Oh man, you can even feel like the good vibes just by giving yourself a hug. Just do it, man. Listen, have an incredible day. Make the world a better place. Don't forget though, by the way, the reason that these two are on the show today is because they did a post on the Instagram that got me excited, and I called up the office. Get uncomfortable, lean in, make things happen, change the world. And if you want to hang out with me, just find me. I'll be at a nonprofit doing some work. What, Warren, before we go?
I'm proud of you, Tommy D. That's all I want to say.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I look forward to hugging you both in real life soon. We should do like a Facebook Live from the office. Give me something to do. Even if I got to, let me just come by. I'll sweep the floor. Whatever. We'll make a video about it. Listen, you guys rock. Shout out to Floral Park. Shout out to the village. And I still have family in the village. Make it a great day, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his